Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is yet another installment of the Married Man Side Heffa saga. So, I really planned on bringing so much juicy stuff today, but the last little bitty puzzle piece I can't bring to y'all until it happens. Like, I've been waiting for like almost a week, and that's why I haven't told y'all anything. But I don't know when this last part gonna happen. I'm waiting on the other shoe to drop, so to speak. But let me stop talking about it. Let me tell y'all what's been going on. Okay, so with the OG married dude, the original married dude who was setting it off, he was doing like he normally does, speaking to me, hey, how you doing, and all this other stuff. Y'all, minding my business like a week ago. Whenever the last time I did the video, my last video that was about the married man or whatever, like maybe a day after that, he approached me. He was like, hey, how you doing? I said, I'm fine. How are you? Went on about my business. And I'm washing my hands and doing all of my stuff to, further prevent possible, contamination situations, all the stuff that's going on in life. And he was like, will you have 2 or 3 minutes to spare when you get on your next break? And so I said, sure. He was like, he asked me, he said, can I have 2 or 3 minutes of your time on your next break? I was like, sure. And I said it like that because first of all, I'm like, why you want to talk to me? And second of all, like, there is a job that I had to do, and it's the most hated thing there that I have to do. And I have to do it, well, it's at random. It just depends on what's going on. But this was the first time in a while that I've had to do this, and I was tired of my spirit already. And it's something that can take almost the whole time of while I'm there, and I'm not guaranteed to be able to get all of my breaks. And that particular day, I was able to get my first break, which is what he saw me at when I was actually heading back. And then I had to get my lunch break because that has to be documented if I don't do nothing else. So I didn't even get my last break, y'all. Like, the most was popping off. Like, it was just too much. But I got it done. So he knows. I didn't like, it's crazy because I was like, okay, went on by my business. So I'm walking back to my department. He literally just came from where he was. So then he followed me back, and right in the view of where the Heffa can look down from upstairs where we work, he stopped me and was like, what time do you go on your lunch break? And I wanted to say, you know what time I go on my break. And it's to the point where no matter who I'm working with, you still know what time I go on break, even if it's a different time, depending on the person who I'm working with. That's how sad it is, y'all. That's how crazy it is. Sir, you know when I go to break, don't do this. So anyway, I told him, the time, but I told him that I'm not sure when I'm really going to go because I have to take my lunch break. But it's hard to break away from doing that because they want you to get that particular task done. They want it done ASAP, but it's like, you can't rush certain things. I can't go into that. It just is what it is. It's a part of the job, and I hate it, but it is what it is. And I would rather do it right on my own. And I think that day, did I have to do it by myself? I forgot if I had to do that by myself that day. I think I had to do that by myself that day. And I'm like, if I'm going to do it by myself, and it's going to be done right. So anyway, that took some time. My break ended up being so like hours after the fact. Like 2 hours after I normally go on my break. And then it was just to the point where I was like, yeah, I'm not even going to try to go on my third break. Like, I ain't got time. Like, it's too much. And then like whenever I do that, something always happens to kind of compensate for days when I don't get my last break. So I wasn't worried about it. And then something did happen like 2 days in a row, and I was so happy. I was like, see, the Lord be knowing. But anyway, y'all, so I'm looking like, okay, you be knowing when I leave. Like, I can go at a completely different time that ain't got nothing to do with none of the times I normally go. And somehow you still know that I've gone to break. and you will appear. So where were you today? But what happened was, y'all, when he stopped me to ask me what time I was going to break, side Heffa just so happened to be right there at the top of the stairs within view and saw the conversation, if you will, happening, the conversation. And all I know is when I got to the top of the stairs, I saw her texting, and I'm pretty sure she was texting him and going off. And she had an ugly look on her face. She looks very disgusted. And I'm like, oh, this Heffa's mad. I laughed on the inside. I'm like, oh, whatever. So anyway, in my mind, I'm just like, okay, he gonna figure out when I'm going to break. If this Heffa didn't cuss him out and tell him and say something to him like, why were you talking to her or whatever she said. So needless to say, that situation didn't happen that day. So I'm like, okay, like, what do you want to talk about? Because in my mind is going to a couple of different places. But I'm trying to figure out, do you want to talk to me because you now know that I said in my letter to HR that this Heffa has an issue with me because she's screwing a married man, even though I did not say your name, but we all know it's you. Like, literally everybody know it's you. Is that what this is about? Because I already made up in my mind that if he comes at me in any type of way that's trying to suggest that I'm the reason why there is all that tension and stupidity going on, I'm setting it off. I am. Don't try to roll up on me and say nothing like, well, all this stuff going on up there. And no, I don't want to hear none of that. If he ain't coming to me to say, well, I heard how you been getting done by her, I'm sorry on her behalf, which you shouldn't even have to do. Like, in my mind, I'm really trying to figure out what you want to talk to me about. Like what do you want to talk to me about? Because I'm definitely not finna be in no threesome. I'm definitely not finna do no swinging, because as I've told y'all before, there are several people, so I've heard, that are married and they are into swinging, and I'm not into sharing nobody. Never. So I don't care nothing about that. So hopefully that ain't what it is about either. And so one of my friends that used to work there, she was like, well, how did he say it? And I was like, I mean, he spoke the way he normally speaks, because she was trying to understand, like, did he say it aggressive? Like, was he mad? Like, that's basically what she was trying to figure out. Like, did he say it like he was upset or whatever? And I'm like, he was just talking the way he normally talked. Like, he said it like in a polite manner. So it wasn't like he like said it all rough and mean and whatever, where I would be able to easily infer that it must be something drama filled. So y'all, a couple of days went by, nothing. Saw him, and he didn't hop up to run after me to stop me, to be like, hey, we were supposed to talk the other day. Like, do you have a moment? And if not, like, when do you get off? Can we talk or whatever? None of that happened when he did see me. Y'all, the last day that I worked, I was going back from my last break. It was 30 minutes left on the shift. And he came from out of nowhere, because from what I'm trying to tell y'all, somebody or several people tell this man when I go on my break. And this particular day, I don't think he knew who I was partnered up with, because normally when I'm partnered up with this person, I either go on my break an hour before I get off, or I go and do it so that when it's time for me to be off, I'm on my break and I leave my break and go clock out. So that particular day, I did it an hour before I got off, and I was literally about to go through the doors. He appeared from out of nowhere, and he literally came from his department. You could tell he walked or jogged or whatever, because of the way he was acting. He was like, I keep on forgetting that I'm trying to talk to you about something. I got to talk to you. Do you work over today, or what time do you get off? I said, I guess my normal time. He was like, okay, so do you park on the second row? And I'm looking at him like, it really be taking everything in me not to read him, because I'm like, you know where I park. You know where I park, sir. You know exactly where I park. There are days that you scope out. You really be sitting up there, chilling. You just sit there. You will be like a couple of steps away from me. You will literally be a couple of steps away from my vehicle and I don't even know you're there. You're like, you have to be behind a bush at this point because it's like, where did you come from? When I'm walking out, I have my mace, but at the same time, I'm looking around. I don't see you. Where did you even, I'm like, where did you come from? And I mean, as soon as I get in my car, I lock my doors, but at the same time, I'm like, where did you come from? So you know where I park. It really be taking everything in me because he really tried to play that role. He was like, are you parked on the second row? Yes, sir. You know where I park. So he was like, okay, I'll meet you out near your car. I'll try to catch you when you leave out. I said, okay. And it's crazy because months prior, somehow, some way, some magical way, when I would clock out, I could clock out on time, 10 minutes later, 30 minutes later, and he would be walking out right behind me. But somehow, all of a sudden, you don't know when my break is and all this other stuff. You know when my break is. But anyway, this is the funny part. Here's the gotcha. Here's the hilarious part about all this. On this particular day, which was my last day of work, right? I didn't see him because I looked out at my car. I said, oh, I don't see him. And I left out 12 minutes late, which is not that bad. Like, for me, like if somebody would have told me, oh, I want to meet you at this time, because of where I work, I would give them like at least 15 minutes. I ain't gonna lie to you because you got to go put your stuff up. Like it's a whole ordeal. You might have to go to the bathroom because that's exactly what I did. I came from where I was. I put all my stuff up, locked all my stuff away, used the bathroom, clocked out, then walked to my car. So I'm looking, I didn't see him. I was like, okay. Is he gonna appear from somewhere? Because I'm looking in the direction of where his car at. I don't see him. So I was like, oh no, let me look over to where the Heffa parked at. I bet the truck over there. Looked over there. What do I see? Her vehicle is still here. So, yeah, she must have found out that he rolled up on this day as well. Because she was not working over. So I'm like, why are you still here, ma'am? Normally, you are speeding to get out the door. Now, when she doesn't speed to get out the door, she's seeing certain people who have gone to another shift and she's talking to people, but she don't really stay over that long, though. Like, when I clocked out, it was 12 minutes after the fact. And you were still in there? Oh, okay. He ain't nowhere to be found. Oh, okay. And as I've told y'all before, there have been times that she was in there talking to people or whatever, but I clocked out. I'm walking in my car. This man literally followed me right out. And then she came out seconds later, and then he would walk back towards her. But this was all in an effort to watch me walk to my car. But you don't know where I park. You don't know what time I go to my breaks. You don't know what time I get off. You know my name. And like I already told y'all before, I hate how the schedule is because everybody know your business. They know if you gonna stay over. They know if you came in early. They know what department you in. It's just so annoying. So I'm like, bruh, you already knew that I was not working over that day. So why are you trying to play that role like you don't know that I get off at the same time you supposed to get off because you ain't working over either? So, but anyway, y'all, I'm convinced that she found out that this situation happened somehow, some way. Not sure if somebody took their break at the same time as me and they were going back and they saw it. And like he said it loud. Like he was like, I mean, he didn't say it like in a, it's funny because like he doesn't talk super loud, but that particular day, like he actually said it like loud and it wasn't aggressive or anything. It was still his same voice or whatever, but it was just really projected. So I'm just like, I'm waiting. I really want to know what he want to say. But anyway, y'all, hopefully y'all enjoyed this foolishness. I will update y'all and let y'all know what's going on.